So Dazza, where do you get that T-shirt from?
AVCon.
And what a lovely collection of winter coat. A winter coat you've got on.
No,
It's in style because I reviewed Spice North this week.
his outfit of the day is cat hair.
Cat hair. Is cat hair in fashion? I can never stay on top of fashion.
It is if you got a cat.
Uh,
And the ladies love cats, so.
Speaking of cats, you've been doing a bit of furry reading, haven't you?
Not furry.
It's not furry reading.
What the hell is it? Oh, you were reading that all through the podcast. There was a Japanese girl who had very.
Oh, she wasn't a
little-
Japanese girl. She's a wolf god.
A wolf god.
A wolf god,
And
yeah.
as long as they're diety, it's not really a furry. Is that what you're trying to say? That's good. Otherwise, monkey. Our lovable monkey would be not you being a monkey.
Well, people who enjoy Dragon Ball Z, they would be furries then.
Exactly. We really need to write the book on what is a furry and what isn't. There's so much.
I'm pretty sure there's articles online about what goes in there.
We can link you later, Dustin.
I am not going to type into any Google search furry.
Hey,
I don't care how much Google protection I've got on that search engine, it'll still feel dirty.
hey, don't judge.
I'm not here to judge, I'm here to love. It's a great segue to this week's episode of AVCon TV. So look, let's get straight into it because I cannot take my eyes off this lovely collection of video games.
So I've got 3 games to go over this week. One's the main one I'm going to talk about, but these other 2 I'm going to have a quick discussion about. Resident Evil Revelations has just come out for 3DS, and it kind of mixes together old school Resident Evil atmosphere with the new school Resident Evil 4, 5 kind of control settings. And as you can see down here, we've got the Circle Pad Pro add-on, which is actually pretty cheap. Adds more buttons, makes it a lot easier to control, especially with a 3D environment. So yeah, it plays like Resident Evil 4 and 5. It's got more atmosphere like Resident Evil 1. And yeah, it's got a lot of online modes, kind of where you can drop in and out of games. Have a partnership between another person, and cover each other's backs. And
So it's heavy on the team base for the 3DS?
and it's drop in and out games. So I don't think they last more than 5 minutes. So I mean, on the toilet you can play a game, on the bus you can play a game.
So a quick question, you have to, so someone walks past a 3DS and they've got that game, they're playing it, and they can just drop into the game you're playing?
Yeah, if you were to stop what you're doing and drop in and play.
okay.
That's...
You can play locally, online, and randomly online. So.
And of course everyone needs a copy of that game
Yeah.
in their Game Boy to play it.
And that's a separate mode to the actual storyline. So you play through the storyline, but when you go into this, it's called raid mode, you can play, with your friends and stuff. Anyway, quickly, second game. I'm not going to talk much on this, it's Soul Calibur. You kind of know what to expect, but the big changes are a lot of the cast has been replaced with their kind of like future generations. It's got a very big online community where you can go to different places in the world, and each Tokyo's got a lobby, Sydney's got a lobby, New York's got a lobby, so you can just go, hey, I want to play someone from this area, or you want to hone down, I only want to play people from this area, just do that. It allows for custom created characters and all that. One difference is that they've added Devil Jin from Tekken as a custom character that you can make, which is actually really cool because you mix up rather than sword fighting, you've got actual punching and dragon punches and stuff like that. It's
So Soul Calibur vs Tekken coming out sometime soon?
Technically the same thing, but
Yeah.
I won't say that. That's not what it's like. It's got a storyline mode where you go over playing through the 3 main new protagonists, 2 of the Greek characters, and I believe one of the characters doesn't really have a background. You go through that 20 episodes, and then throws you into the game. It's got a level ranking system where as you play you unlock stuff, or it's got, if you're a good player, you can jump into these ultra hard modes to unlock characters, which I can't do that because I'm not at that level of play yet. But
So it's like when you're trying to get your license, you can either go through the P checkbook to get your Ps, or you can just go, screw it, I'm going to give it a shot and see what happens.
that's pretty much it. Soul Calibur 5, if you like Soul Calibur 4, pretty much the same thing. And the main game I'm going to be talking about this week is Final Fantasy XIII-2, which was provided by Shin Tokyo. What this game is not so much a continuation of Final Fantasy XIII, but more of almost a side story set after the actual Final Fantasy XIII events. It's very heavily on time travel, so you're going back in time and forward in time of what's happened and stuff like that.
So you got the TARDIS and stuff in there as well?
Technically, kind of, yeah.
I've always been a more DeLorean kind of guy.
Yeah.
I like
all
a mix of
flashy.
both, to be honest.
I'm an 85 baby, so I'm dedicated to this.
So-
Yeah, the 60s.
Anyway, this is set around a new guy called Noel, who's from the future, who's come to, he's...
Noel?
Yeah, Noel.
Noel?
That's a very Japanese name.
He is...
Really?
No.
I was like,
According to the actual storyline, he's the last person in the world, and he gets sent back in time by Lightning, the main character, while some really bad stuff's happening with this new protagonist guy. And, protagonist? Antagonist.
Protagonist, and they played the game, so I have to go on that.
I don't know. I'm still playing through the game. It's very big.
How many hours have you put into it?
I've put about I think like 15 hours, but it seems I'm an RPG player where I will sit down and just try to do everything at once. You get people that apparently have said that they've rushed through it in 20 hours, so apparently it's not as long as the old game. But it's
that's
also,
the advantage, isn't it? The other one just kept on going.
It's got all side missions and stuff, whereas Final Fantasy XIII, you got to a certain point, it's like, here's missions. Whereas this one, actually, this is something that I liked compared to the first one. The first game kind of unlocked the menus bits and like kind of weaned you on like all these little aspects of the game. Within the first hour, you've got a lot of the menu unlocked, and the only things that are really slowly being unlocked is mechanics with the time travel. So, yeah. Into your second area, you get Pokemon kind of characters. Like they're not Pokemon, but
you gotta catch them all.
You've beaten the enemy, and you have a chance of getting that enemy to use in your party. And what this does is you've only got 2 main characters in the game that you play as, and then the third character can be a monster that you can use, and they've all got different moves and stuff. So you might have a monster that will be a medic, or you might get a monster that will be a support kind of character kind of thing. So you've got to mix all that up. But yeah, time travel means that when you go back to an area, it basically puts it as a clean slate. You can go and do different choices and stuff. And it has paradox endings you can get for each chapter kind of thing, which is actually really interesting.
So that's a pretty comprehensive review of Final Fantasy there. And as we all know, Final Fantasy has a whole bunch of anime and manga spin-offs, which brings us to the wonderful world of anime and manga.
And what do I have here today? I have Durarara, as said in the insert.
I do run.
What is it? Is it meant to translate to something? Or
not that I know of. It's just katakana, so it's just Durarara. It just sounds good. This collection of Durarara is 9 episodes. It's the part 1. There's two other parts of it. And to start it off with, this collection is amazing. Like, this first part may not be as good as the second or third part, but it really does set up the whole sort of mythology of the Dalahans, the Headless Warriors, and it really sets up the scene of Ikebukuro, which is the city which it's set in. There's mystical characters there's this one guy, no joke, there's this one guy that can punch through a fridge.
So are these mythical
characters? Dude,
characters?
come on, I've been hungry and I've punched through a fridge before.
Are these the mythical characters, or are these just...
Well, it's not really explained that well in this first collection, what the mystical characters are. Like, the main mystical character who was explained in this collection is the Dalahan, who is pretty much she's sort of like a Shinigami, who sort of kills people.
I don't know what a Shinigami is.
Oh, it's like a death god.
Okay.
It's like a death god you make out of origami.
Okay.
It's pretty intense.
Anyway, and she's pretty much looking for her own head, because she's lost her head. She's come to Japan. It's like her head's somewhere around here, and it really gets good in the second disc.
Is she headless?
She's headless. She's got this like little black steam coming out of her head. And it's just,
Does she have like a ghost head or something then? Like you can actually see her face?
No, you can't see her face.
How can they be talking?
She doesn't. She uses a mobile phone or a pager, and she talks like that, and you hear her sort of narration
She's
over the
Stephen
top.
Hawking's. That's what
Yeah, and I watched the dub version of this because if I get a DVD with a dub on it, I'm gonna watch the dub. And the dub, it's decent. There are a few characters. I don't like Johnny Young Bosch's iteration of his character pretty much, but the rest of them, Crispin Freeman, all of them, do a really great job of their character. And I just got to thank Shin Tokyo for letting me watch it. It's a great show. So you can pick it up from them.
I believe you got some manga as well.
I've got some manga. Alright.
Forget the manga.
I can't forget the manga.
It's a Show and Jump manga.
Yes, Shonen Jump. You know what Shonen Jump is?
Yeah, it's that fancy writer.
Shonen Jump is the one where like Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, all them come from.
Oh yes!
Yes!
The filler episodes.
Toriko is very much like Dragon Ball Z in the fact that it's not really the best type of drawing. It's not that really... It doesn't look that interesting, but it makes you feel so empowered. Like, the first chapter of this is no joke. Toriko going out and fighting a giant 300-year-old crocodile and then eating him.
I think the crocodile has a right to live.
No, it was killing the environment around it, so it was an environmental problem.
But it's been doing it for the last 300 years, so if anything, It's part of the environment.
Yes, but the most interesting thing about everything is the fact that he's a chef. They're all chefs. It's all for food. It's massive.
To eat.
It's this all massive gourmet sort of society where these hunters go out, they kill massive preys, they have this massive capture levels. Like in the second one, the capture level is like 9, and the average is about 2. So like, say like a normal chicken will be like 1.0.
Okay. Wait. Let me get this back. They'll put the power structure to chefs.
Yes. Well, there's hunters and there's chefs. So you got the chefs who actually cook the people, and the secondary character, Toriko, is a chef himself. So basically, my main point is the fact is I didn't want to read Toriko that much. It didn't seem that interesting to me. I had no idea. It didn't seem that good. I read it and I loved it. If you had to guess, like if you had to choose between the manga itself and the anime, I would actually prefer the manga because I watched the anime afterwards. Wasn't as good. Wasn't as good at all. So I really recommend Toriko. It's really good. On the other hand, I've got Spice and Wolf. Now, the Spice Wolf anime I reviewed it a few weeks ago on AVCon TV, and I said I loved it. Well, the interaction between the characters, that was the main selling point of the series. You lose it in this. You really do. You lose the main interaction with the characters. Hollow she's dumbed down, kind of, for the manga. And also it says here that there's a parental warning, which we talked about earlier, the furries, because I was reading this during the podcast. It's her pretty much naked walking around. I think it really detracts from the fact that it's about economy and it's about the interactions with the characters, and you really lose it. I mean, the artwork is amazing, and they've got this colour spread, which I can't really show. They've got a colour spread which is artistically fantastic, but without the interaction with the characters, without that selling point, you sort of lose it.
Is it hollow?
Exactly. It's terrible. But it is. It's a very hollow manga, and if I had to choose between that and the anime, I'll choose the anime each time.
Which is also on Blu-ray.
It is, of course, and it looks amazing on Blu-ray itself. But, of course, we go from manga to, what is it? Comics, I think they're called?
Comics are wonderful, and then slap your face down if you try that again. Now we get to one of the hardest parts of the show. I've got 4 hours sleep and only 2 minutes to tell you about some amazing comics which we picked up from Pulp Fiction Comics down in King William Street. First off the bat, I'm going to throw you right in with my best friend's a Booger. Now, don't judge it by its awesome title and cover, because it gets even better on the way in. It's about a young boy struggling with school life and bullies and just not being the cool kid around the place.
Well, and then if his best friend is a Booger, he's not going to be the coolest guy around.
Well, I don't want to give away the ending, but he gets pretty damn cool. Now, a while back I did Super T-Rex, Super Dinosaur, and it's along these lines of it is actually just a so engaging, fun, little graphic novel that's going to make you laugh, feel good about yourself, and keep you smiling for the entire day. So, my best friend's a Booger. If you like to laugh and like something a bit quirky, get in on it. Now, from quirky and laughter to something a little bit more serious, but is incredibly engaging. You pick it up, you can't put it down. I bring you to the Assassin's Creed, the Fall Deluxe Edition.
Oh.
So I'll give you a quick little spread through. I'm going to hide my face for this. I had no idea what that looked like, but I'd increase if that's what
I didn't notice it was in colour though.
It's a colour, of course, and well, it has to be colour. From the video games, we only accept the best.
Oh, of course.
So if you love the video games, you want to know more of the expanded universe of Assassin's Creed. Star Wars is going on for it, Star Trek's going on for it. Now Assassin's Creed has taken the mantle and is really pushing the history-based environment that it works in and linking in the storyline to very significant moments throughout history and inserting the Assassin's Creed brotherhoods and things like that all the way through.
And it's also licensed by Ubisoft, so that means it's probably canon, you think?
That's absolutely right. If you do pick up Assassin's Creed The Fall Deluxe Edition, you'll find that is Ubisoft, therefore canon. So if anybody tries to go against you in the Assassin's Creed universe, just whip this out and show them how it's done. Point of it is, if you love the video games, you're going to love this. And with Steam sales, which reduce Assassin's Creed to a very affordable price, you're going to want to read this and play the games, or play the games and read this. That's simple. Which brings me to the end of comic books. Once again, head on Pulp Fiction, tell them Dusty sent you, and pick up your copy today. So that's comic books, but it's never over in the session, because now we slide very nicely into cosplay. And the big one I have to push here is the fact that on the 18th of this month we're doing a giant Final Fantasy cosplay, and I'll attach the link right here.
It's not us that's doing it. It's I think it's Fujiko no Fantasy or something.
Fujiko no cosplay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're doing some kind of cosplay thing, and people are going to be dressed in Final Fantasy.
Technically, the 18th is tomorrow when this goes live.
No. You have to understand. I'll be sleeping in tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm not going to...
No, tomorrow next week.
Oh, thank God.
We filmed this week early, remember?
Oh, I'm so happy now.
It's okay, Dusty, you can sleep.
Like a kid in the candy shop. Anyway, Final Fantasy, here's the link.
It'll be in the doobly-doo, of course.
And hop on that, go to the events page and sign up. We'll be there with our cameras to make sure we get as much info as we can on the thing. I'll be there judging, I believe, and loving the amazing costumes that Adelaide can provide. So that's it for comic books and cosplay, video games and manga anime. But as always, we're not going to leave you hanging. We're going to now jump to a wonderful corner of the world. It's competition corner time.
For your chance to win a copy of Final Fantasy XIII-2 provided by Shin Tokyo, all you have to do is put in the comment box below your favourite Final Fantasy moment or experience, real life or in game. Details and entry details and dates and all that, all below.
G'day guys, it's Will here, the events guy for AVCon. I'm filling in for Dusty. He's done a Houdini act by the looks of it. Anyway, we got a great comic pack here that you can win. It's the Snot Assassins pack from Pulp Fiction. Just to win these, all you need to do is tell us who do you think will be the next character in Assassin's Creed, now that Ezio Auditore has finished his story. Put your box in the comment below and the details and the dates will be underneath.
And as a great assassin once said,
Right.
comment
And subscribe.
AVCon
TV.
And there were you.